All right. It's Thursday, October, not October anymore, November 2, 7:50 a.m. I've been here for a while. I've been here since just before 7, but there was rhythmic issues to connect to Apex, and wasn't able to connect at all. I've seen a lot of people are having problems today. So I only was just able to finally connect now, and so I'm going to see if this thing is working now, if I get a setup. Strong uptrends everywhere, big measured move up. Now the thing here is it seems like I've got a break. Maybe if you do that, it's not a break yet. A little sketchy. Of course,
Order
there's an LO
submitted.
right here that I'm considering. I got to break a new high of the big channel. One tick. Oh, I hesitated. I'm just hesitating because it seemed like this channel already broke. But it looks like it's going to work anyway. Just hesitating because to me that seemed like it was correct. And so I feel like I'm cheating by extending it to make this stay inside. And so it made me feel a little sketched out on an LO. Curious to see if it'll work. Entry was above the high of this, 19 and a quarter. So it's gone 5 ticks so far. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't enter it because this looks like a clear break to me. This looks like a clear channel. So you've already got break new high of this big channel. And you've got a break new high of this channel. So I feel like that's where the LO gets sketchy when you're taking them up there after all that.
Order canceled.
I'll pause and wait for a better opportunity. All right, so that LO would have worked. I'm marking it white because to me, this channel is clearly working here, and there's a break, and then the LO happens after the break and after a new high. So for now, while I'm drawing these channels and trying to take my setups based on channels being played out or not as well. That makes it a white trade currently, even though all the rules were in place for it to be a gold trade before I was drawing these channels. So I'm just kind of keeping my eye on this and seeing if this is something that either helps me or hinders me in taking my trades with my strategy when I'm drawing these channels. So this has kept me out of some bad trades in my testing. So I'm giving this a chance to see if this is helpful or not to me. If it keeps me out of more bad trades than good trades, then we'll keep it up. But I gotta give it some time to see how this works for me. It's just another filter, because even though I'm not trading second entries, I think the channels, I've seen in my 3 years experience, the channels do play out according to the rules of the channels. All right, so we'll see if we get anything else coming up. All right, recording here. Looks like we've started a downtrend. If I get a close somewhere over here, I might get a PB to the short side. So I'm going to be watching for that. And this could kind of be looked at as a first entry, second entry long. That might fail under the EMA. And then I can catch the PB continuation of the failure perhaps. I mean, depending on how this sets up, I might even want to take the failed second entry long here at the key entry point. So let's see what happens.
Order submitted.
So this is a reset right here. So first entry long, second entry long. If it's right here at the key entry point, I might consider taking that just based on Pats. But I would definitely take the PB for sure down here. Maybe wait for a second entry short, depending on what this looks like. But the way I see it, all the longs are played out. So if it came down here, it'd be a failure. I might be willing to take a Pat's entry. I mean, this looks pretty solid. Or not. That still fit? Still kind of fits. Now I'm not looking at Pat's entry unless this becomes a second entry short. But I will take a PB down here if it sets up.
Order
So let me
canceled.
reassess here. Is it possible that something more like this? It's a pretty flat channel. It's possible. All right, I'm going to pause and just wait for something more clear. If this somehow gets confirmed and does a second entry short kind of thing, I might take a PATS entry. If not, I'll wait for a possible PB to the short side. Otherwise, those are my two options right now. All right, so this is kind of like a hidden second entry short. First entry, second entry on the engulfing. I could potentially take down here, but yeah, not with that close. But I was just going to say this is the kind of setup that, I would always get messed up on, have a stronger close down here with no wick up here, and then I'd enter one tick below, and then I'd get stopped out like immediately when I was trading PATS. So no trade here for PATS for me. And still waiting, kind of has to come down here somewhere for a PB, I think. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. I'm not seeing anything to the upside that's still in play other than the measured move. So who knows? It's possible. I mean, there's what's going on here. Something like this, I guess. So maybe this is going to be something. I'm just going to wait and see how it plays out here. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, it's possible if this doesn't move up too high yet, if it moves up over here, it could be a PB to the long side. This down channel looks like it's about to be dismissed. Unless there's this pullback right now. So this could be a second entry short, but it's just above the EMA, so I wouldn't take that. There is a possible PB to the long side.
Order submitted.
So if I get a close up here, I think I would take it. Is there some kind of, I don't know. What's it doing? It's either going to respect the down channel or it's going to say there is no down channel. So that's a second entry short on PATS.
Order canceled.
The problem is now that if it comes down here, I'm not sure PB still will apply. Because the action up here kind of changed the configuration. And there's no way I would take a second entry short that looked like that because it's very sideways, bars stacked up above the EMA. So I'm not taking that. And my trading has been stagnant since I've destroyed my accounts last week, but still these 3 PA accounts are one bad trade away from getting blown up, essentially. So I got to make sure my next trade's a good one. So to me, it looks like this down channel is confirmed. I know I have this measured move up here still, but if it's possible that it doesn't reach the measured move and it starts backing up now. Yeah, it's a hugely up day. It's entirely possible that we'll have some kind of retracement and then maybe it'll continue upward later, who knows what, but this channel seems solid. So I am going to consider getting ready for a PB to the short
Order
side.
submitted.
Because it's possible close down here, like I was talking about earlier, sets it up. It's also possible first entry short, second entry short, possible to get a lower high here. So there's a couple options. It's hard not to consider taking Pat's entries since I have the chart now. Looking, yeah. Before, when I was just trading my strategy and this was a blank chart, it's easy to not think about second entries and Pat's strategy. But now that I have this up, it's almost like I could trade both strategies if I see something really good that I want to do that. Right now I'm focused on maybe a PB setting up down here. So I am going to get ready on my other chart in case it sets up. There's one thing that's not quite right about it currently, but maybe it'll get into alignment in time if it comes down. I'd really like to get a trade today, or a couple trades. It's been all week. I haven't had anything. I've had short sessions for 2 of the 3 days this week. Actually, all 3. There's... Okay, let's see what happens here. If it closes down here, it just looks like one of my conditions is not going to be in place for a PB here. And it's interesting that no lower high is set up here for Pats either. Just doesn't look like this is going to be a proper setup for me. It's almost better it does this. If it does this, comes back up, and then comes down later, or even if it goes up, there might be a setup up here. Just getting the feeling that it's just not going to give me what I'm looking for. If it somehow breaks this channel, then I'm going to consider this not a valid channel. It just looks weird. It seems like it's gone too far to consider it a low or high. And it's a new low, so
Order
I'm
canceled.
going to erase this channel. I feel like it's kind of funky looking. Possible. Yep. Not really sure what's going on here. There is a potential PB to the upside. Over here. I think if it happens on this bar, it'll be too soon. If this was a channel, and you've already got a new high off of that. You could say one leg up, two legs up on an up day.
Order
So I might
submitted.
consider if this is a PB right here. Kind of have to judge it on the close and see if it qualifies. Needs to close at the high of the bar. Even a couple of ticks, one tick or two ticks higher. It's almost better if it takes to the next bar. All right, so that's still good. So if the close is higher here now, but you don't want it to be too high that you don't have room for a scalp. Now it's already getting too high. So it is a PB if it goes two ticks above. Room to the measured move. Only gone one tick above so far.
Order
And
submitted.
I'm in the trade. Not good for my PA counts that this is pulling back. So this is dangerous because I had a break a new high already. So maybe this is not a good idea. Seem to fit my PB rule that I've only had one loss on so far. Mainly because of the measured move. I like it, and it fit the rule. I was expecting it to go up there. Not liking this. All right, this is looking better. I'm really expecting to hit this measured move of this leg. Which gets me to my scalp. Don't like how this turned down again. really stacked up here. Considering moving my stop up. Taking a long time. Really struggling. Seems like it wants to push, but I'm going to move my stop here. Take some risk off at least. I just don't like this. It's turning over. This doesn't look good for me. Not looking good. Just going to stop back to where it's supposed to be. I gotta walk away while in this trade, so I'm just gonna let this play out and leave the stop right here. I just walked away. I'm coming back to see what's happening. And I'm just sticking with this trade. The rules are in place. I put the stop back where it was supposed to be. Seeing that it's coming back up here. Tempted to want to get out, but maybe we trapped the shorts and maybe we can reach my target now. Is that my last chance to get out of this trade? Maybe that was my chance. All right, this isn't looking good now.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, so I just got back again. See, we're just barely hanging on here. It's not at all what I wanted to see. I think this is definitely going to be a losing trade, but I had a feeling I shouldn't take it because it was already a new high off of this, and there were no other up channels. So I broke my own rule, and I'm going to pay the price for it. Just got sucked into seeing a PB setup. And I think this is one of those PBs I could have saved myself from by following the rules, same as here. This one worked, even though I followed the rule. This one looks like it's not going to work, and I didn't follow the rule. So it's like you see this and you decide, oh, well, it worked this time, so maybe I can ignore the channels and just take it anyway. And probably going to pay the price here for it. And what happened? I blew up I blew up two of my PAs already. That sucks. I just saw that. All right. Two of them. Three and four I blew up. That sucks. Well, I knew it could happen if I had a pullback during mid-trade. It's so crazy. PA3, look at that. Blew up the account by losing $42 from the starting balance. And it hasn't even reached my stop loss yet, but it probably will. But that would really suck if it goes all the way back and ends up being a winner, and lost two PAs over it. Oh well. That's the first time I've lost any PAs. These were my first 5 PA accounts. So, it sucks, but I feel like I've gotten further than a lot of people get on their first PAs. I've been trading these PAs since like the end of July. Except for this one, number one, I've been trading more recently. I got my 5 PAs in my first like 16 evaluations or something like that. So I feel like overall I've been doing better than a lot of people I've seen on the chat boards and YouTubes and things, as far as getting PAs, passing evaluations, not blowing up PAs really fast. So it's all a learning experience. And I hit a rough week last week. And it looks like today I'm going to take a loss here. But, that's how trading goes. And this is a new strategy. So, I knew there was the opportunity for something like this to happen. But really, I have a rule in place to not take this trade. So this is my own fault for taking this trade, even though I saw a break a new high already. That's the whole reason why I'm drawing these channels. I'm not supposed to be doing that. And, pay the price by breaking rules. This is where I wish I could have a speed up button like on playback. Just speed it up and see, either let's finish this or let's get to the profit target or whatever. But, this looks pretty bad. Yeah. If I'm being honest with myself. We're in this. So I knew there was reasons not to take this trade based on me drawing these channels, and I did a good job of respecting it here. And just the fact that this one worked made me feel like I could take it over here, and was just going for this measured move and new high. I could have done things. I could have moved my stop up here to take a smaller loss. I could have tried to get out for break even when it was stacking up. I could have tried to get out for break even. So, I mean, there's things I could have done, but this is all part of trading. And, what can you do? The thing I do feel good about is that at least I followed my plan and have two PA accounts that were my backups. So I'm not out of the PA game yet, and I'll just start trading these next. I really think I need to figure out a way to have smaller stops. This was just following the rule. This is below the line of my indicator, and I usually put it at the next swing. So it's, 29 ticks is a big stop. I kind of felt like I should have put it under here at this point, because if it went below there, seems like my trade's just not working. I kind of have to figure out a point where it's like, okay, my trade's not working for the reason why I got into the trade. And so think about just getting out, or think about, reducing risk. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get taken out here probably. If I'm lucky, maybe my stop saves me and it just makes the new low right here and then bounces up. And we have the new low of the channel and I'm safe. But I'm expecting to be taken out right now.
Order filled.
Oh, and there I just lost
Order filled.
my other PA.
Stop filled.
Okay, and there's the loss. All right, so this is where you can come and watch me blow up my PA counts. And this was only my second loss on PB, so good timing. Minus 7 points. All right, so it's like you follow the rule and you see it work, and then you get another situation where you get another setup. You've been waiting patiently, and you go, oh well, it worked over here. So of course, human psychology. Well, let's go for it over here then, and that didn't work so well. First entry long, yeah. Second entry long, kind of a failure down here. So did some damage to my new evaluations. It's the first day I've traded those. Blew up all 3 of my PA accounts. And so this is why I'm going to try to stick to the rules. And if I have a break new high already, don't take the trade. This is what I was concerned about. So 13 and 2. So it's now 87%, and now I'm 36 and 10. Only 78%. All right, I'm going to do better now. We're going to get back to the way we were doing things the first 5 weeks. This is week 7, and the end of week 7. Last week was a red week. Blew up a bunch of accounts. Finally blew up my 3 PAs that I've been trading. Those are gone now. And now it's time to get back to doing what I was doing originally on this YouTube channel. And so let me stop recording finally here. This is getting long. And let me look for a solid setup. I'm going to start trading the 25K PA down here. All right, so maybe there's some kind of range here. That might be a thing. Disappointing to lose accounts. Yeah, definitely a bummer. But I knew it was the possibility, and that's why I, chose to not play all of my PAs at the same time and to save some backups. And so as far as I'm concerned, I'm still in the game. I still, essentially one max payout pays for everything and makes me a little bit profitable. One max payout on the 25K account. So even though it feels like I just lost, it's not like I have to rebuild from the start entirely again to start doing this and try to work towards a payout. So things definitely not going as I had hoped for my strategy. At this point, we had 5 really solid, great weeks in a row. And now, I've hit a snag last week and today. But today is just one trade that, didn't fit my current rules for playing the channels. So I really should have stayed out of it. This is what I used to do on Pats too, by the way. It's like you start breaking the rules when you start feeling like you just want to make something happen. And that's kind of how I was on this trade. I just wanted to make something happen. And because of that, when I try to make something happen, that's when you get your loss. So I'm going to reconfigure. I'm going to add in this number 5 PA as an account I'm going to start trading, and continue with the 2 evaluation accounts. And luckily, it's still 90%, still 90% off till November 7th. So got off to a bad start on these evals, but I can get more. So I'm not going to give up. Keep going. And the whole purpose of my YouTube is to test the strategy and learn what to do, what not to do. And this is what I should not be doing. All right, let's see if we get another setup. I actually just realized I lost 7.5 points, not 7. All right, so I'm looking at this like maybe it's ranging. We'll see. Definitely had this downtrend that I got stuck into on my trade, and maybe this will come down and make the new low for this, and then we'll see what happens. All right, just readjusting my range to this now. Seems like this is acting as support. Where I got in is the resistance, and we'll see how this plays out. This pretty bad PA. Price action is just really sideways and choppy after such a huge move up, which I guess could be expected. You know, kind of have multiple up channels, all broke, all made new highs. This was a new channel, broke, made new high. Did a good job staying out of this trade. Should have stayed out of this trade. You know, maybe eventually it does get all the way up to this measured move. You know, 1 leg up, 2 legs up. We'll see. But yeah, everything's just kind of indicating flat right now. So it doesn't seem like I'm going to be seeing any setups in the near future. That's the other thing that's difficult about this strategy is, you know, the setups don't come a lot. So, you know, if you take a loss, forget whether I blew up the PA today or not, the PA accounts, but you get a loss, you know, it can take quite some time to make them up. You get a 7.5 point loss on my strategy. You know, that's 4 trades to make it up. And how long does it take to get 4 trades? You know, does that take 4 days to make up the 1 loss? It's kind of exactly the same issue I was running into with trading max path system. You know, 1 loss takes 3 or 4 trades to make up, and it becomes a real grind. This strategy has been working so great for me for 5 weeks on YouTube and 6 weeks in a row and 8 weeks of testing. But the market changed, you know, in the past 2 weeks. The market has really changed with what's going on with all the economic news and you know, world event news. And ever since, you know, really last week, it just seems like everything's so much harder for the strategy just to even see a setup happen. And it's like, you know, you think you have a reason to stay out, so you stay out here, and you see it work. So then, you know, I've already said it, but it does. When you have a reason to stay out of a trade and it works, it has a psychological impact where you go, okay, well, it worked over here, so I'm going to take it this time because now it's going to work again. And then, of course, that's the time it doesn't work because it's not following your rules. So, you know, that's the parts like this. The strategy is one element that gets you so far, but then the other element is us, the trader, and how we think and the decisions we make. And, there's a reason why I'm drawing these channels now, and it was to keep me out of these kinds of trades, and yet I still took it. I don't honestly feel too bad because these PA accounts were, I lost it mid trade, two of them, and then the third one I lost right as it was closing for the stop loss. So, you know, I'd already basically done the damage to the accounts last week, and it would have been a miracle for me to bring them back. And so it was already kind of a foregone conclusion that I was losing those. But I do want to make sure I do a better job now with my next ones. All right, let's see what we get. All right, and just changed my range again, made it look like this, because it doesn't seem like this bigger one was legitimate since we just went right through it. And it looks like now it finally has gone for a measured move. I guess if I look at this in a different way, it's one leg up, two legs up, a correction, and then this would be the measured move. I don't know if that really makes sense. I mean, maybe what it really means then is we're looking for this. One leg up, two legs up. Unsure. This is how I saw it, though. I mean, this was obviously the reason why I took the trade I took, going for the measured move. So even in hindsight, I could see the reason for me wanting to take the trade, even though we already had a break new high. All right, so I've switched over. I'll be playing the PA5 account and the two evaluations, and I'll be hoping for a setup or two or three if I get lucky today, and I'll probably get new evaluations. I don't know. Maybe I'll just let these. There's still time. November 7th. So today's November 2. We got 5 more days to add a couple more accounts. And just difficult to even think about adding accounts when I'm on this, red streak right now since last week. It's so crazy how I have so many losses. But 5 losses last week. This is my first trade this week, so 6 losses in 2 weeks, and in the previous 5 weeks to that, I didn't even have 5 losses. So now up to 10 losses on this. It's way more than I expected to have at this point. So something has definitely changed with the market and the Strat. For whatever reason, when I started it, it was like I could just take every single one blindly and they would all work. And now that's changed. So either I need to hone it in, and that's what I'm trying to do with these channels, which I broke that rule. And so this is a trade I should have skipped. Or, I just happened to stumble across this idea when it was just working and I saw it. And I haven't done enough testing over many different periods of time, different years, different months, to see the different market conditions and realize that there's market conditions that it doesn't work in. So it's one or the other. Who knows? All right. We're going to keep working at it. Hope that it gets back to working the way it was working. All right, I just got back from taking care of my dogs. Been gone for a little while. I'm just curious to see if there's anything like this. Like this kind of works right now. It's funny, we're finally eventually making it up to the big measured move. And kind of do something like that just to have an idea. So if you're going by that, then you already have a break new high here. And yeah, this might just chop around until it gets up there. It always feels ironic when you take a trade in the right direction going long, but you just don't get your scalp. There was no Pat's trade here, so had nothing to do with looking for something like that. Here, first entry, this is a second entry here. No reason to be thinking long though. Already had a break new high here. Let's look at the bigger picture here. Maybe you can spike and channel this way, and that might work. That kind of makes more sense. Market's really slowed down, but man, it's a big up day. We're already back up at 43.26. I mean, yeah. You look at the other charts. We're way below. Look at this. Yeah, we were below 4,200, below 4,150. So it's been a huge move up since the bottom. Yeah. I do think that with any strategy, sometimes you just get in trades and it's like bad timing and just, for whatever reason, no matter what the probabilities are of your trades, so there is some bad luck where, you have a 90% probability trade and you can lose because there's 10% of the time that you can lose. And even a 90% probability trade, you can lose twice in a row and still be 90% over a large sample. So, just trying to put this out of my mind and just focus on setups for the rest of the day. If anything, looks good. But this looks pretty good here. I mean, if I put this here, let's see. I mean, that looks pretty legit. It looks like the midline's coming into play. So it does kind of look like a spike in channel, shallower channel than what these were earlier, and just grinding up still. So I traded in the right direction. I had a measured move. I mean, there were things to like about it. The rules fit. And I can't beat myself up over it. Just got to accept it, move on to the next trade. So I'm going to pause here and see if something sets up sometime, hopefully. I'm just thinking myself too. Can always look for what might be the next measured move, right? So we can consider that, which is not too far off from the big one from the bottom. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. As well as maybe there could potentially be a larger one like this. So that's kind of something I'm keeping in mind. Measured move up here, measured move up here, strong bull day, and maybe we'll get something over here somewhere. All right, I see a second entry long.
Order submitted.
I'm going to try to take it. I just looked up. I'm going to try to get in this. Second entry long, max Pats trade, going for the measured move. I may have noticed it too late. I was looking away.
Order submitted.
All right, let's see. Key entry point, EMA, measured move. Might as well go for it and try it. Smallish risk. Much smaller than my strategy has been.
Order filled.
All right, so that's one in the books. Second entry long. I can't believe that I took a Pats entry, but I did. Second entry long, key entry point, EMA, measured move. So if I take a trade that just, it's like I can't unsee it now that I'm drawing this stuff. So I'm going to take it in these situations. And we got the 8 ticks. So maybe that's what I need to do is, I have two strategies. My price action trading system record is not so different from this, what I've been now in the past 7 weeks trading this new strategy. So, I kind of have mixed feelings that I'm going to take Pat's trades again, but it worked. I had good reasons to take it, and so I took it. All right. Let's see what else we get. All right, so since I officially have taken a Pat's setup at this point, and I'm drawing all these things, it makes sense for me to take the trades if I see them, if the context makes sense to me. So because I've done that, you can see now I'm 1-0 on the Pat strategy for the stats here on YouTube. And what I've done is I've separated so you can see the Nlts Strat stats in a section, as well as you can see the overall YouTube stats, combining both at the top. So I guess that's the thing that I'll start doing. And if I take a second entry short or a failure, I'll add them to the list here. And, we'll just keep track of everything, because the point is to make money. And if I'm going to use two strats to do that, then if I can use two strats and if I can pull it off, then I'll do that. This whole thing is a big experiment. So that's what we're doing now. I'm not giving up on my new strategy though. So I still will have that chart off to the left. I will still take those setups as I see them. I will do a better job of not taking the setup if they don't fit the channels and the rules for the channels. But if they fit the rules of the channels, then I will absolutely take them. So that's where we're at. So this was the first trade on this PA account ever. And, I need 10 trading days just to qualify. And so I figure because my strategy has these large stops, 7.5 points on this one that I lost, it just makes sense to just trade the 25K with one contract. And you need to trade 10 days anyway, so that's almost $1,000. And I really just want to get to a payout if I can. Refund some of my expenses. Even if I take $1,000 out, then I'm in for the whole Apex game for like a couple $100 at that point. Is all that's left on the table of risk. I did notice there was a first entry short and a second entry short that triggered. But because we're already at the measured move, I'm not taking that. It looks like it probably will end up working to reach this measured move and some, but just kind of going sideways here, not at the EMA. So I'm not going to take that one. And anything else to say? I think that's it for now. Obviously, this video is getting long. At some point, I'm probably going to start streaming live, maybe. I don't know if my internet connection is actually good enough to do that for the upload. I may just be like way far behind. The latency may be terrible. But I might try it at some point. And so obviously I'll do a review video at the end of the day, and I'll go over all this stuff. So if, for anyone that doesn't watch this long video, or if you do watch this long video, I'll break it down in a more concise way, hopefully, for the review. All right, just gonna watch out for our new setups. This second entry short failure, the entry would have been 29, and we're now at 30. So it's only gone 4 ticks. It hasn't even scalped out 4 ticks yet. Definitely too risky for me to take it going for 8 ticks. All right, that's all I got for now. All right, so that failure, second entry short failure worked. Got a huge spike up. No setup for me on my other strategy, on the NLTS strategy, but that is okay. And this channel definitely seems to be fitting quite well. Wick was a perfect touch up here. Just look for more setups. All right, and now since I am going to trade PATs as well, since it's now officially happening here on YouTube, I've added a couple things that I have on my indicator that I use, that I used to use for PAT's strategy. So one thing is I have it marked when there's 3 bars that stack up, and I have it marked, these diamonds, yellow diamonds, are for when there are what I consider resets. This is something that I picked up from Souls, from his LSR group. And so anytime there's matching bottoms or tops, for his hybrid strategy, he says we can recount or reset the count. So I just like to have that marked just so I'm aware. Sometimes I overlook it, but it's kind of been helpful to consider it at times, depending on the chart. So the confluence and everything. Anyway, so that's a small little change here. I know it's a lot busier now, but if I'm going to trade this way, then I want to have the tools that I'm used to having at my disposal to enter trades. All right, that's it for now. All right, I'm looking at this for Pat's. You look at this as a reset. You got first entry short, second entry short, failure, and then a higher low. But it's a little bit strange because I don't know if this went down first and up. So then maybe that would have been considered the failure on a engulfing bar. I'm not sure if it went up first or down first or what. So anyone that might have taken a higher low here or looked at this as a failure just lost. And that's why I wouldn't have taken either one of these trades, just because it looked kind of sketchy. And it was not a kind of traditional setup for a second entry short. And also this pivot is lower than this pivot. So it's higher than this one. So I don't know, it's kind of convoluted. Also first entry, second entry. I suppose if you took this as a second entry, even though it's a doji, you got your 4-tick scalp. 30.25 would be the entry, and it went up to 31.50. So you got a 4-tick scalp for sure if you took it as a second entry long. If you go for more ticks like me, then you would have lost. All right. Really not seeing any trades I would want to take up here. I didn't realize I was recording this whole time. Just looking at this channel. So that channel looks legit. So you would expect a new low. And this potentially already has a break in new high. So keeping that in mind. I'll pause here. Just looking to see. Could also maybe consider it like this. Then you have a break in new low. This is where, Pat's system gets complicated because it's so subjective how you draw these. The secondary one, is this legitimate? It looks legitimate. But if you're just looking at this, it could be a break, 2 legs to new low. So kind of keeping both those things in mind in case there's a setup. All right, so just a little update here. There was a first entry short, second entry short failure, but it looked pretty congested, so I just stayed out of that. And I removed this larger downtrend because I feel like it's probably break a new channel is probably like this. All right, so this is all intact. Break is here. And 2 legs on the break, and now we're going to go for the retest of the high is kind of how I'm seeing it. But I just don't imagine I'll be taking any trades up here because it's just not clear. This could be a failed break out of the range and can go and retest the bottom here. And I wasn't going to take a long into this congested area and resistance. So just nothing for me to take here, and no setup on my Nlts, so just hanging in there. All right, now there's a higher low after the failure, which you might think about taking to go for the highs. It's not touching the EMA, it's a little bit off the EMA, hasn't triggered yet. I think I'm just going to stay away. It feels a little bit dangerous because, again, I'm still keeping in mind, what if this is legit? Then you're kind of expecting a retest here. You're expecting the retest here. And so it doesn't feel like there's confluence. Let's see, it's going to trigger. But first entry short, second entry short, higher low. It's even possible, the way it's looking right now, that this could turn into an LO on this bar if this bar is bullish. So given that,
Order submitted.
again, order ready just in case if this bar finishes bullish and we get 2 ticks above it, then maybe I'd take that as an LO. So I'm just getting ready on my second chart with the Nlts indicator. Considering it's matched up with a higher low after a failed second entry short. Doesn't look like it's going to trigger the higher low or the LO at the moment, but we'll see. All right, definitely no LO, definitely didn't trigger the higher low.
Order canceled.
And I wouldn't be surprised if somehow longs got trapped right here and it goes and retests the bottom here. With a failed breakout out of the range. Although anyone that took the failure here already got their scalp if they're going for 4 ticks. 30, 25, and the high was 32. So if you're going for 4, 5, 6 ticks, you got your scalp. All right, so it looks like it's going for the retest of the high right now. And didn't trigger the higher low here, but we had an engulfing higher low here that triggered above it. Six to 8 ticks above this candle if it was an LO is too high. Doji. So no trade for me. I'm not going to enter this higher low, and I'm just going to hang, be patient. Really just focused on this PA number 5 now. This was the first day traded on it. Where I'm going to really do everything I can do to see if I can get a payout for the next payout period, which is maybe not possible with the amount of trading days. Let me see. Ten trading days would be the 15th. So I'd have to make 1,600 in exactly 10 trading days, which is not likely, even if I can do it by December 1st. Wait, what's the payout period? The 20th to the 25th? No, I forget. The 1st through the 5th. If it's the 20th through the 25th, then that's doable. If it's the 15th through the 20th, then maybe not. I forget. Anyway, I'm gonna pause here. I just decided to try another channel, and I see that this actually confirms the channel. This higher low. Big bar, 12 ticks. It only got triggered by 1 tick. I'm pretty sure it's gonna at least get the exact high of this. First entry short, second entry short, higher low, triggered off the EMA, but it's just, it's too high. I don't want to get involved. So for anyone that did take this higher low, they just got stopped out. If you took it engulfing, you got your 4-tick scalp. And I can't even imagine that we're in some kind of range. It's very easy to consider as well now. So I can imagine we're doing something like this even. Maybe it'll spike up and take out the retest of the high, but just kind of feels like a whole lot of confusion in this area as far as PATS goes. As far as my strategy goes, Nlts, there's just no setup here. Just nothing at all. So keep watching. Only have about 40 minutes left. I'm just thinking again too, we reached the measured move of this and got a little past it. What I never did was, if I measured these two legs, all right, we reached that too. So, yeah, nothing to do here. So I just noticed something else. So in a situation like this, this channel has a break, a new high in this 1 bar. So I'm just going to take this off because that doesn't matter anymore. And the fact that that had to break a new high here means that we might not get the retest here. To me, that's what I've noticed in the past. I'm going to take this off because right now it's just looking more range-like than anything at the moment. So just to clean it up and make it easier to look at. It's not to say that it can't reach these highs, and it might, but since we still have the break break a new high in one bar here off that channel I had. There's no point in considering that anymore. So, all right, still watching. All right, we just had a triple test of the range high. No way I'd go short here personally. Just everything's been up all day, and I wouldn't bet against it. But I can imagine there might be some PATS traders that might take that as a triple test of the high. For me, it's just still just too much in this thing. So I'm not taking that. Still no setups. 12:05. Give another 15-20 minutes and call it a day pretty soon here. All right, so 12:15. It's not a whole lot going on. Market's very slow. Anyone took a triple test short here, you got a 4-tick failure and just lost that trade. And now it's attempting to make a breakout of what I perceive to be somewhat of a range, maybe going for that retest of the high right now. I just don't see anything that you can take, that you could say this is a first entry short, second entry short. But I wouldn't take that trade. And I wouldn't feel comfortable taking anything up here. No setups on my other chart as well. So more than likely, this is how my day is going to end, but I'm going to give it another few minutes just to see. And then I'll be back to wrap this video up, and I'll get into my review video after that. All right, I'm going to call it here. Price action is just moving so slow. You see, I took this trade all the way back at like 10:30, just before 10:30, and this is only all the action we've had in the last 2 hours, basically. So no point in hanging around any longer. This is going to be the end of my live recording session of my trades today, 1-1 for the day. And if you've gotten this far, hopefully you'll check out my quick review of the day in my other video. And that's it for now. See you Friday.